Surprised facts about sex and marriage life of ancient Egypt. The sex life and sexual practices of ancient Egypt are topics that have been the subject of study and speculation by historians and Egyptologists. While much of our understanding is based on ancient texts, art, and archaeological evidence, it's important to note that our knowledge is not exhaustive, and interpretations can vary. Here are some facts and insights regarding the sex life of ancient Egypt. Ancient Egyptian society generally had a more open attitude towards sexuality compared to some other ancient cultures. Sex was not considered a taboo subject, and it was often depicted in art and discussed in various texts. Fertility was highly valued in ancient Egypt, and the ability to procreate was seen as a blessing. Sexual activity was closely linked to ideas of fertility, and there were many rituals and amulets designed to promote fertility. Marriage was an important institution in ancient Egypt. It was not only a legal contract but also a social and economic arrangement. Monogamy was the norm, and marriage was often arranged by families. However, divorce was relatively easy to obtain. Ancient Egyptians had knowledge of contraception methods, including the use of various substances as barrier methods. They also practiced family planning to control the size of their families. Many ancient Egyptian texts and artworks depict sexual scenes and symbols. The famous torn erotic papyrus is an example of explicit erotic art from ancient Egypt. Ancient Egyptian religion included deities associated with sexuality and fertility. Hathor, the goddess of love and pleasure, was one such deity. Sexual rituals were sometimes performed in her honor. There is some evidence to suggest that homosexuality existed in ancient Egypt. However, it was not widely discussed or documented, and our understanding of this aspect of ancient Egyptian sexuality is limited. Prostitution existed in ancient Egypt, and there were designated areas where it was practiced. Some women may have entered into prostitution voluntarily, while others may have been forced into it due to economic circumstances. Ancient Egyptians valued personal hygiene and cleanliness, which extended to their sexual practices. They used various perfumes and oils for fragrance and cleanliness. The tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun contained a wealth of erotic art and objects, including a gilded bed decorated with scenes of sexual intercourse. These items provide insights into the attitudes towards sexuality during his time. Ancient Egyptian literature contains love poetry that celebrates romantic and sexual love. The Song of Songs, a poetic work, is a well-known example. Some ancient Egyptian medical texts, such as the Kahun gynecological papyrus, contain information about sexual health and reproductive anatomy. This suggests a level of understanding of human sexuality. Ancient Egyptians believed in the power of aphrodisiacs to enhance sexual performance and desire. Substances like honey, dates, and various herbs were believed to have aphrodisiac qualities and were used in various preparations. The ancient Egyptians often used phallic symbols, such as the obelisk, as representations of fertility and potency. These symbols were incorporated into architecture and religious monuments. Ancient Egyptian medicine included treatments for sexual health issues. They had remedies for impotence, sexually transmitted infections, and other sexual health concerns. Some ancient Egyptian women practiced extended breastfeeding as a form of natural birth control. Breastfeeding was believed to suppress ovulation and, therefore, prevent pregnancy. Nudity was common in ancient Egyptian art, particularly in depictions of gods, goddesses, and pharaohs. This was not necessarily sexual but often symbolic of purity and divinity. In certain religious contexts, sacred prostitution may have existed in ancient Egypt. These temple prostitutes were believed to serve the gods and goddesses through sexual rituals. Amulets with sexual health symbolism, such as the ankh, a symbol of life, or the djed pillar, a symbol of stability, were worn for protection and good fortune in sexual matters. The annual flooding of the Nile River was associated with fertility and renewal. Some rituals involved sexual elements to symbolize the river's life-giving properties. While ancient Egyptian society was patriarchal, women did have certain rights and opportunities, including the ability to own property and participate in economic activities. Their role in sexual matters likely varied depending on social class and status. Some ancient Egyptian women adorned themselves with tattoos, including erotic motifs. These tattoos may have been associated with sexual allure or protection. Some hieroglyphs and symbols used in ancient Egyptian writing had sexual connotations. These symbols could be used for puns or wordplay in texts. While ancient Egyptian society was relatively open about sexuality, there were still some taboos and regulations. Incest, for example, was generally forbidden, and there were rules governing sexual conduct within the family. As with any historical study, it's important to recognize that our understanding of ancient Egyptian sexuality is based on a combination of archaeological findings, ancient texts, and artwork, and there may be aspects that remain unknown or subject to interpretation. Additionally, practices and beliefs may have evolved over the long history of ancient Egypt.